Hi. Today it's Prince's birthday. He was supposed to turn 60 today. And for the people that know me already for a long time, they know I was always really infatuated with him and with his music. And I just sort of fell in love with him from the first time I saw him. When I saw Purple Rain, I think I was 12. Um, and it was sort of love at first sight. His music, just everything about him, and I would watch his video clip all the time when it was coming up, and I also felt like really connected. I felt like this deep connection. As well, you can be very aware of things when you're 12. So. And I had this really strange, not strange maybe, but I had this really deep knowing that one day I would meet him. And later it turned out like that also. So, but I already knew, like sort of from the first time I saw him, and I felt really drawn to his music and to his persona, that I would meet him one day. And So I'm gonna tell a little bit, or a bit by bit, how I came to meet him, and how I ended up spending a few days together with him. It's a really long story because it turned out that we would spend like 3 or 4 days together when I was about 20. And I just want to start at the start, and I'm just going to tell a little bit now. So in this part, I won't tell probably about how I met him, but just sort of how it came to be. And today I went to his exhibition with my two best friends, and they were with me when I met him. I met him by myself, and then the day after, I managed to get my friends over there as well. And I had a boyfriend since I was like 15. He was my first love, and really beautiful love. And we stayed together for many, many years, and we had a beautiful time together. Um, but we would always get in a fight because I was always listening to Prince's music and talking about him. And I said, well, if there's one person I would really want to meet, it's Prince. And he was not so happy about it. I'm like, yeah, but if I get a chance to meet him, he's like, no, no, you're not going to meet him. I'm like, yeah, I am going to meet him. I know, I feel it. And we would argue about that. He's like, yeah, but no, you're not going to. When you're at a concert and you get a chance to meet him, you won't go. And I'm like, yeah, I am going to go. I'm going to go because I want to know who plays the music I'm playing all the time. I want to know who's the person behind it. And I just really want to know him. And not just from a fan kind of perspective, because I was a fan and a big one too, but just that I was really drawn to him, to his soul and to his spirit, and I just really wanted to know what he was about and who he was. And my boyfriend at the time, he didn't, after a while, he felt like, I'm not going to argue with you anymore because you are not going to meet him anyway. But deep down, I knew I was. I was like, well, when I do meet him, then you know, and don't come complaining to me and say, like, well, you cannot meet him because I already said I'm going to. Um, uh, um, Too much. I'm a bit emotional also because it was a really intense day at the exposition, and uh, I'm sort of looking for the right words to put everything into perspective. So when I was 19, he was performing in Rotterdam in the Ahoy Stadium, and we wanted to go to the concert, me and my two best friends. I had to pick up my visa because I was going to travel to Suriname in the next 2 days. And I was living with my father because my mother died when I was 14. And I was living with my father. My parents were separated. Uh, and my father was really upset with me because I had to go and pick up my visa, which I did, and then I was supposed to come home. But instead of coming home, I went to Rotterdam with my two best friends because we wanted to see if we could still get some tickets and go to the concert. So we didn't manage to get inside. The concert already started, and we were quite late. But it was a beautiful, beautiful summer day. So we were just standing outside having a lot of fun. And then I saw his bodyguards, and they called me. They called me over, like, hey, come and listen. Tonight there's a party in The Hague, where I was living at that time, and there's a party tonight, and please come and join us. But I was like really suspicious. I thought, well, do they want something in return? And so I was like, well, I don't know if I'm coming, and what do you want in return? Because I'm not that kind of girl. And I was really defensive, and they were looking at me a little bit crazy, like, don't all the women just want to go and meet Prince? So what's up with you? Why are you so hard on us? And so I got an invitation for the after party to go that night. So I went home because I wanted to get dressed and put on my best dress and put on my makeup and stuff like that. And my friends already went down to the Paard, which is a quite famous place where a lot of artists have performed. And when I came home, my father was really upset. One, because I didn't come home, and two, he thought, well, there's no way my 90-year-old daughter is going to this after party of this rock star. So we got into a big argument, a big fight actually, and I was not allowed to go. Um, I had to travel. My father was ill also at the time, and I had to travel in 2 days, and I was going to stay away for a month. And I didn't want to leave home with a fight, and I didn't want to go and travel to Suriname leaving with a fight. So I stayed at home, but I was like really, really sad because my two best friends were at this party, and I wasn't, and I was the one that got invited in the first place. So I was really upset, playing Prince songs all night, and my father was in the other room, like, turn down the music. And I'm like, no, now you have to listen. I cannot go. So I listened to the songs, and you have to listen to them too. So he was not very amused with me, but that's how I did it. So I was crying, playing all the melodrama songs that Prince had, and I was just so upset that I had this chance to meet him, and then he didn't allow me to go. It was like a dream come true, and I couldn't take the dream because I didn't want to leave my father, and knowing he was not well and traveling and not seeing him for a long time, I just couldn't bear that thought. So I didn't go, and my best friends were there, and they were at a table, and I think he came over to the table, and they had a conversation, and they got to meet him and talked. Yeah, they just talked about a few things. I wasn't there, so I cannot tell you what they talked about. So the next day when I talked to my friends, I was so sad because they met him face to face, and they shook hands, and they had a conversation, and there I was just at home, bawling my eyes out. So I went to Suriname. The next day my father gave me a Walkman as a present, and he wrote a little note. I still have the note. And the note said, from Prince Daddy, and it didn't say I'm sorry, but I know he meant something like I'm sorry, and he was just being protective and trying to do the best or the right thing for me, but I was just so heartbroken. So I went to Suriname, and my father got really ill. He was supposed to come like a week later. He had surgery, and things went really bad. So he almost died. And I was really, really happy that I did not go and leave with a fight. And well, when I came back from Suriname, thank God my father was still there. And we had another year together, but then he did die a year later. And that memory stayed with me. And after that, I got another opportunity to meet him, and I actually did. So I'm really grateful that something that I dreamed of happened. I followed my heart. I did not leave my father, and life gave me another chance to meet him. So I'm really grateful for that. I'm really grateful for many things, but that is one of them. And the experience I had after that was amazing. So I will continue the story soon. But I just wanted to start with this part because it's his birthday and he would have turned 60, and so many people are so sad. And today we met these wonderful people at the exposition, and they they were just so full of love. And when we shared our story, me and my friends, we went together. They were just so excited about our story, and that we met him. And there's some pictures of it and things like that. And it sort of made me realize again how special it was that I had the opportunity, and not just once but twice, and that it actually a dream came true. So I want to leave it at that, but I wanted to share it today in his memory. So I will continue another time soon. And thank you for listening.